TypeScript 5.6 was released just the other day, so I wanted to make a quick video and talk about some of the cool stuff that we're getting in 5.6. This is the blog post that we're looking at here announcing TypeScript 5.6. One of the most interesting things to me around just TypeScript mechanics is this disallowed, nullish, and truthy checks. This, I think, is a pretty cool and useful check that is not really type specific so much as just something that the TypeScript engine can tell us about in our JavaScript. Let's take a look at this example. Here's a clamp function. This is currently running TypeScript 5.5, as you can see. And we do have errors at the two bugs in this code. And so the new thing here for TypeScript, at least in most cases, is not so much that this is something TypeScript didn't catch before, but now it's actually going to give you better information on the problem here. Let's look at this first one on line 4. If we look at the error for val, it says val is declared, but its value is never read. And that might seem kind of weird. We're declaring val as an argument up here, and then we're using it here. So why is it complaining about val being declared but never read? This isn't a declaration. Except actually it is, right? We have inverted our equal sign and greater than sign so that instead of being is this greater than or equal to, we're actually creating a function, right? Val is the argument and the function body is returning max. And so we've declared an argument that we're not using. Probably not what we intend. The second one here on line 5, for min, we have min is possibly undefined. And you might say, well, yeah, we know min is possibly undefined. That's why we've put $0 here, because min might be undefined. So what's going on there? And maybe in this one, it's a little more obvious to be like, oh, is there a precedence thing? And maybe we can wrap this in parentheses. However, if I switch this over to TypeScript 5.6, immediately we'll see that we get much better errors in both of these cases. So if the first one here, if we hover over this, we can see that this kind of expression is always truthy. And I will say, I kind of cheated there. I was hovering over the operator here. If I hover over val specifically, you can see we do still see val is declared, but its value is never read. But then we do also have this kind of expression is always truthy, right? And so if we hover later on, we just see this kind of expression is always truthy. The thing that's going on here is that the if statement has a function as its parameter, I guess, and a function is always a truthy value. And so this would always be true. Once we recognize this, we can switch our operator here to correctly do greater than or equal to max. Now, of course, we've uncovered another bug, which is actually the same one that we have on line 5 here. And we know from TypeScript 5.5, this looks like a precedence issue. And actually, we now have a better error. Not just min is possibly undefined, but we have right operand of is unreachable because the left operand is never nullish. This left operand here is val is less than or equal to min. That is always going to be true or false. And we would only ever need a nullish operator here if this could be a nullish value, right? If it could be null or undefined. So to solve this, we can put parentheses around min or null. Of course, we have the exact same error here on line 4, where the right operand is unreachable, where max is possibly undefined. So let's go ahead and solve this the same way there. You're right, I can hear you. This is really kind of a contrived example around using the nullish operator here. If I was writing this for real, I would go like this. Min defaults to 0, max defaults to 100, and we have min max, and then over here we have min and max. This is sure how I would write it. However, these nullish and truthy checks that we now get with TypeScript, I think are a really useful way to just catch these really small errors that you might make in your code. The other examples they give here is like maybe you write a regular expression, but you forgot to call test on it. So that's going to be a truthy value. I think this is a pretty cool new feature that we have in TypeScript that is going to save me a lot of headaches and misunderstandings of bugs. The other big thing that we get in TypeScript 5.6 is iterator helper methods. This is really cool. There's some new proposals that are happening in JavaScript or ECMAScript around iterator helpers, and then there's also one for async iterator helpers. And so these are moving forward in JavaScript. And so because they're now at stage 3, at least the synchronous ones, TypeScript is putting them into TypeScript so we can start using them. So this is not really a types feature per se, but we now have things like map and take on our iterators. I'm planning to do some videos on generators and iterators in general. And so maybe we'll get to play with these when we get into some of those videos, hopefully in the near future. But I think this is some pretty cool stuff. There's a bunch of other interesting stuff that we have in TypeScript that's not really language specific, but is more about different checks or flags. The one other thing I'll highlight here that I think is pretty cool is region prioritized diagnostics in editors. Basically what this means is that instead of needing to check the entire entire file before showing things like errors and warnings in a TypeScript file, now the editor should be able to prioritize kind of just the code that you're looking at and give you diagnostics on that region instead of needing to type check the file and maybe other parts of the project. This is a pretty cool stat right here for some specific numbers. In our testing on TypeScript's own checker.ts, full semantic diagnostics response that's over 3 seconds. In contrast, the response for the first region-based diagnostics took 143 milliseconds. So that is a huge jump in improvements. Obviously, that's not checking the whole file, but it maybe is checking what is most relevant to you at the moment. And other stuff can kind of be checked while you're looking at the first errors that you care about. I think this is really cool. I've definitely worked in TypeScript projects that start to get large and start to get slow, and it's really easy to have TypeScript start to bog things down, and you've got to do maybe some weird performance tricks. So stuff like this coming in at the kind of ground floor of the TypeScript type checking engine, I think is huge. So that's it. It's a quick one today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do let me know if videos around generators and iterators are something you guys would be interested in. It's a topic that I've been playing with a lot in the last year or so, and I think there's some fun stuff to learn there. So let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.